The Big World by Ava Mack. The girl stared at her textbook, pen to her lip, as she thought about the math problem, only that was not at all what she was thinking about. Would she be a millionaire, or would she barely get by because all her time was occupied by volunteering and helping others? The idea of having a family brought a smile to her face, because the joy of the future would override the helpless feeling she had acquired while reading the detailed math equations. Her eyes began to close so she could get a better glimpse of her dreams. Would her days be filled with finding a cure for cancer in a medical lab, or would she be satisfied by simply seeing her daughter's face as she ran off the school bus to hug her? Would her worries be about losing her humble attitude when she made more money than she knew she could, or would she worry about not being able to provide for her family by putting food on the table? She thought about those she had known who worked 9-to-5 jobs and still struggled to make ends meet. The thought made her quiver. She had never known anything but prosperity. Whatever her fate may be, she thought, she would make sure to be happy. High school had proven itself to be a difficult time filled with times of uncertainty, but the future would hold hope for her. Her eyes caught focus, returning to her math problem. She cautiously looked around the room to see if anyone had noticed her daydreaming, but all she saw were people busy with their own work. A long problem, with what seemed like hundreds of numbers, jumped out at her like a ghost in a horror movie. She was intimidated by all the work required to be successful, but maybe the real success for her was just happiness. As cheesy as it sounded, nothing seemed more fulfilling than happiness at that moment to her. "How can this be my life?" she muttered under her breath, as her thoughts took control of her mind once again. The untapped potential was being drained from her, one math equation at a time. If the world had so much to offer, why wasn't she being given the opportunity to see it? The girl looked out at a car parked outside the window of her classroom. She stared, but gathered no information about the car or anything outside. She only saw what she was missing. Her mind wandered into another galaxy. Her big brown eyes filled with wonder as she continued to stare into open air. She felt an escape from life when she daydreamed about the possibilities that might come one day. Daydreaming was her only escape into something more real than heavy schoolwork. But for now, all that was important was getting out of school. Math was not important in the long run, but the teachers made it seem like it would determine her entire life. "You will use this one day, and you will need to pass this class if you want to be successful in life, in school," the teachers would say to the girl. The girl responded, "There is no happily ever after that can come from doing math problems all of my life. I don't believe anything good can come of this class other than an office job." The teacher had battled with her on and off throughout the year, but there was no point. Nothing would change the mindset of this stubborn girl. She looked down at the pages of the book and found the work. It was not an ideal way to spend half of her life, in school studying pointless subjects, but this would have to get her by until her real passion could be made into reality.
Created using Powtoon.